guys, it's Bella, the Maker Mama Boss Lady behind Bella's Custom Crochets, and today I have another pattern drop video for you. This is my latest pattern. It is the Skein Wonder Cowl LITE, and I'm going to tell you about it. Thanks for coming. So you might remember back in January, I think, I released the Skein Wonder Cowl in DK weight. It was purple. There's a video back there somewhere. You can go find it if you're interested in that. And I should say here, all the links to anything I'm talking about, be it yarn or my pattern shops, Etsy, Ravelry, or my blog, all of that is going to be linked down below. Anything you need to know about me, down bar, go find it. But yeah, this is my latest design. It is, as the name implies, a one skein project. And relatively simple. I'd say it's advanced beginner. Once you get the initial stitch pattern down, it's very repetitive and great for just kind of that TV crocheting therapeutic yarn therapy we all need right now. So I'm going to take it off and I'm going to show you a little closer. Let's be real here, guys. I put on these earrings for this video. Wasn't wearing them all day. Don't normally wear earrings. But, you know, keeping it real. Okay, so it is slightly tapered at the top. It uses 2 hook sizes. If you would like more information as far as specific yardage or hook sizes and whatnot, that's all going to be linked in either my shops or on my blog where this pattern is featured for free. That was a fancy little cowl drop I just did there. So you can jump on over to the blog if you'd like the free version of the pattern, or if you love me and want to support what I do, you can also get it in my pattern shop. You the best. But yeah, back to the cowl. It's slightly wider at the bottom, hard to back up, slightly wider at the bottom and more narrow at the top, and this is done with some neat little tricks for tapering it in. I just like this shape a little more than a straight up and down tube because I feel like those tend to gape open at the top. This obviously isn't tight around your neck, you saw me wearing it, but it is more fitted, I guess, around your neck. I don't like it when it like does this big pouch gape thing in the front and you're like, oh, I could store snacks in there. It's not keeping my neck warm at all. So I much prefer a closer fitting cowl. But the thought with the, what am I doing? The light version is not so much for warmth as it is more a good spring accessory to keep the wind out, the breeze. And it's just a cute light. You can bunch it up in a coat if you wanted it to be a little tighter around your neck, a little warmer, but it fits loosely and it has some airflow in it because of the pattern design. So you're not going to be sweaty. I had it on all day, inside and outside, and it was comfortable. I said that weird. Comfortable. What else can I tell you about the pattern? As the name implies, I'm going to put the pattern down, or the, hang on, collect myself here. Let me show it to you up close just one more time, and then I'm going to put it back on. Alright, so the stitch pattern used in there is a stitch tutorial on my channel, as well as on my blog. For this stitch, it is the mini bean stitch, and is typically only worked, is that focusing? Maybe not, maybe yes. It's typically only worked flat. I'll have my husband put in a picture of the swatch so you can see it really good. But it's typically only worked flat, and I have a couple little tips and tricks. Easy little hack so you can work this stitch in the round. The reason it's usually only worked flat is because the alternating slant on the rows is because you're flipping it back and forth, but I have a little trick so you can do it in the round so you're not going to have to seam it. And there is a teeny, oh I should have shown you the seam, we'll spin it around. A teeny tiny seam, can we even find it? Probably not. Profesh. Okay, well there's a seam and I can't even find it, so that's how hidden it is, guys. Oh, just take it off again. Take it off again and show you. My hair is wild anyway, because that's just who I am. There's the seam. Do you see it? No, you don't. It's right there. Super subtle. So some really neat tricks there for a nearly seamless worked in the round. You're not going to have to sew anything up. You're just joining in a circle and you can barely tell. Fluff it back up, fluff her back up, make her look good. Okay, so as the name implies, it is a one skein project, and I had a couple reasons for wanting to do that. First off, I know a lot of us have a lot of yarn, and the yarn that I specifically used for this one is Once Upon a Corgi. The tag kind of gets cut off. She is a local Connecticut dyer, and this is her Marie Cutie base. It's a 75% superwash Corriedale and 25% nylon. And the colorway is That's No Moon, which is a Star Wars reference. She has a lot of awesome colors. If you want to go check her out, I'll link her below as well. But I know in general that a lot of us have a lot of yarn. And I think a lot of times when we're shopping either at like events, or we go to like a pop-up at a local yarn shop, or maybe somebody's doing an update online and you're really excited about it, but you don't necessarily have a plan, and you're like, oh, I really want to support them, and you're just like grabbing stuff quick, like, because you know it's going to sell out and you want to get some real fast, but you have no idea what you're buying it for. Yeah, you know those skeins. They're in your stash. They're sitting there lonely, looking sad. And I know for knitters, it's pretty easy to whip up a pair of socks, but for crocheting, it's hard to find a single skein project. So for those of us who have fingering weight or sock weight yarn skeins hanging out in our stash, this is perfect. And the stitch pattern lends itself really, really well to a really any yarn. I did the original DK one in a tonal, and this one's obviously in kind of a more speckly multicolor. But I feel like a variegated or pretty much anything other than like a self-striping. I think the ones with the longer stripes might color pool a little bit more, but I'll have JoJo put in some photos of my testers as well, so you can look at some of their color inspiration. I think pretty much any yarn. Fair game for this. If you wanted to get scrappy, you could even do it with scrap bits, but the idea is to use a single skein, and there is some notes in the pattern as well, because I know skeins vary on yardage. Hers are 443 yards, but I know different sock weight yarns can be slightly different, so there is a note in the pattern to maximize getting as much usage out of your one skein as possible. So that will help if you're worried about playing yarn chicken. Guaranteed no yarn chicken if you follow those instructions. So yeah, like I said, there's a tutorial on my channel. Did I say that already? I think I did. There's a tutorial that is available on my channel and my blog for, regardless of whether you buy the pattern or not, the tutorial is up there to walk you through how to do this flat and in the round. So you can check that out. I'll link that up above. And the DK weight version is only available through my Etsy or Ravelry shops. There is a pattern drop video if you would like to watch that, but this one, like I said, on the blog or in the shops, up to you. And I just think it's a really, really awesome spring accessory. And I was telling you, got sidetracked, the two reasons that I really like the idea behind this being a single skein. One, like I said, is that we have, most of us, a lot of yarn. But there's like a second grouping of people, the crocheters, who are like, that's knitter yarn. I can't use that. It's too expensive. It's too skinny. I don't know. Am I allowed to use that? Is it just for knit? Can crocheters even? Yes. Yes. Crocheters can use the fancy yarn too. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. Crocheters can use the fancy yarn too. Did you hear me? I'm probably not looking at the camera. That's the camera over there. Did you hear me? I just get really frustrated when crocheters get stuck in a box of I can only use the yarn I can buy at Michael's. And that yarn is perfectly fine. And I'm totally cool with Joanne and Michael and Hobby Lobby and all of that. But you can also support hand-dyed and indie dyers and stuff like that. So there's definitely plenty to choose from out there. Like I said, I do really like this yarn. But if you need some suggestions for indie dyers, I can list off bazillions for you. And I think right now, too, it's really important to support small business and those people who are relying on sales from yarn for their income. So yeah, if you have never tried a fingering weight or sock weight indie dyed yarn, now is a great time. I understand that maybe it's a little more expensive than what you might be used to, but you're only buying one skein. And it's a totally one-size-fits-all type pattern, so it's not going to be a matter of it not fitting you or you not feeling flattered in it. It's a cowl. It's easy. And the stitch pattern, once you get it down, is totally repetitive, and you can do this. It's not any different than crocheting with like a worsted weight. It's just going to take you a tiny bit longer because it's skinnier. That's all. Yeah. As long as you can follow the stitch tutorial, you can make this. And I think overall it took me maybe 3-ish days when I was designing it to make the cowl. And that was with some frogging and whatnot. So definitely, I think you can make this within a week if you sit down and set your mind to it. Turn on a little bit of Netflix and get to it. So I hope that you will consider making this cowl design. If you like this video or like me or like my cowl or whatever, give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I always update you with new pattern releases, but also podcasts and tutorials and all sorts of other good stuff. So please follow along if you are interested in any of that. If you do make the cowl, you can also tag me on Instagram. I love seeing other people's renditions of my stuff, and it's always really inspiring to see it in other colors. So I might even share your photo. So tag me, Bellas_custom_crochets, again, linked down below. And you can also use the hashtag oneskeinwondercowllite, which I know is a mouthful, but abbreviating it just looked like chaos. So yeah, I hope you make this. I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait to see your version. Thank you for watching, guys, and happy making. See you soon. Bye.